What's up, guys? We are back again for another Filmation Masters of the Universe Classics figure from the Mattel Club Grayskull line. We've got the second figure released, Trapjaw, which at the time I thought was pretty weird. You know, why not Skeletor? But at this point, it really doesn't matter anymore. So we're going to move them aside for a second. We'll take a quick look at this packaging. It's the same kind of stuff. So we've got our jaw bridge, we've got our windows on the top, we've got our slipcase with the logo on the back. Let's pop that guy off. We've got our window there. We've got our logo, our figure name, and we've got some Filmation style artwork on the back and a quick write-up of the show and how we got to where we are now. So let's take a look. All right, so here's our Trapjaw. And after kind of going through these figures for the purposes of reviews, rather than just playing around with them, having them in my collection, I can really use this guy as an example of just how simplified this line is in comparison to the regular Classics line. I think he's probably the best example just because of how incredibly detailed the Classics Trapjaw is. And even though I haven't reviewed him yet, I will use him as a comparison piece in this review. So we're going to go over the basics, sculpt, paint, articulation, do that whole deal, and then we'll get into some comparisons and take it from there. So, all right, so here he is, standard Motu Classics articulation. So it's nothing too special. If anything, it's less, and I'll get to that in a second. So head's on a ball, swivels up and down, good movement, fine, no problems there. Arm goes up and out, all around. We got our bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, and we have a hinge and a rotation on the wrist. The right arm, obviously, is his mechanical arm. There's not much articulation here. It can hinge outward and it rotates, but it only goes out that far. There is no elbow joint. It's just a straight shot there, and it disconnects here to pop on the other accessory. So you actually do lose some articulation with this guy in the translation to being a more simplified figure. The jaw is articulated. It has a hinge. It doesn't have a great deal of movement, but it does move, so that's cool. I always like that. The chest has a crunch, goes further back than forward. He is on a waist rotation, and the belt will kind of hide that. It's kind of free floating, so it'll actually hide that joint relatively well. Legs go all the way out. That's a full split if you're so inclined. Legs go forward, maybe, what do you think, 70 degrees on that one? It's the loincloth getting in the way. And then the legs, they go back about the same. There is a rotation at that thigh cut, that thigh joint. We've got a single jointed knee, as is the case for all Classics, really. There is nothing at the shin or the boot. And then we've got a hinge, and then we've got that newer ankle joint, which, again, I find very ugly, but it is very mobile. It is slightly hindered by the sculpt here, though. The leg armor comes down over that joint, so it hits it on the side. It's still quite flexible, though. So in the articulation department, pretty normal. As far as sculpt goes, this is where things kind of get dumbed down a bit, and that's fine. That's the intention of this line. As far as what we've got here, we've got the same kind of Trapjaw style legs that you see with Trapjaw and various other Motu Classics figures. We've got his gun here, which is just a flat molded plastic piece with very little detail on it, but it looks like what it's supposed to do. That's a gun, so a laser gun. That's what it looks like, and that's what it is. So I don't really have a problem with it. It is just for the sake of argument, very simple. The helmet is also sculpted in a more simplified manner, but it's still very similar to the original Classics helmet because there's not tons of detail there anyway. I do like the fact that we have the sculpted, articulated jaw. There is nothing in the mouth, though, so that's a difference between this and the original Classics. So for the most part, it's your standard Motu Classics buck with kind of the Trapjaw elements sculpted on top of him. The little knee pads here, or the thigh pads, I guess, and then the longer kind of boots, but they don't really have any sculpted detail. They're just flat pieces, which is fine. I'm not arguing or complaining about that. It is what it is in this line, so it's worth noting. It doesn't bother me. I think it looks pretty close to the cartoon, so that's what they're going for, and that's what we're getting. As far as paint goes, he actually has more than some of the others. So we've got the green on the pads here, the belt. We've got shading on the figure, which is honestly kind of weird for this line. Most of the other figures don't have that, but he's got shading to bring out the musculature of the chest and the arm. We've got the green painted gauntlet, And then we have paint on the face, obviously. My eyes are a little derpy. And as you might see there, we got painted eyebrows. We've got the stripe on the helmet, and it's a little sloppy. There is some bleeding there. And then that's pretty much it. So, like I said, simple, but not overly simple. He looks like how he's supposed to look like. So with that said, let's take a look at the accessories he comes with, because technically speaking, he comes with 3. I wouldn't really consider this an accessory, the gun, because he's got to have 1. You know, you're not going to display him like this unless you're going to some battle damage type situation. But I consider one of them kind of to be the standard, and that would be the gun. I'm just going to leave it off for now. He has 2 others. We've got the Flyswatter, which, you know, I'm never going to display this, but I think it's really funny that they included it. It's a cool little, just a cool little funny cartoony thing to have. It looks kind of weird on him though. All of these look kind of odd to me. Like, he needs a joint, I think, but at the same time, it is what it is. So that's kind of cool. They're all the same kind of light reddish, pinkish hue that you see all over the figure. So these all match to the rest of the figure. And then we've got his crossbow. And they all peg in just fine. I don't have any issues there. They all fit really well. They're nice and tight, so they're not going to fall out. And it's cool to have options. I'm always going to use the classic laser gun, but it is cool to have the other things and not just to get a figure with no accessories. So in that regard, I am pleased. And they all turn out pretty well. Like I said, they're all molded plastic, but for what they are, they're pretty cool. So let's, you know, wrap this up and move on and talk about the Filmation style versus our classic style. Okay, so Filmation classics, and there's a little difference. So I'm not going to go over all of the differences, just some of the things that jump out as, you know, this is the far more detailed figure. Obviously, I don't have to tell anybody that. It's evident. And this is the more simplified figure. The big one that sticks out to me, and it's like the coolest the coolest feature on Classics Trapjaw, at least for me. I just think it's really cool that they did this. Inside that jaw is a mangled up lower jaw, his fleshy, bloody jaw in there. I think that's awesome. I love that they put that in there. Obviously, he doesn't have it. He's got a black void in there. Beyond that, you know, you've got the skull and crossbones on the belt. We've got more detail on the legs. The armor is just wildly different. And then we've got, you know, rivets and line work on the more cybernetic arm that he has here, which this is just a fleshy arm. And then we've got more detail on the gun, which, as you can see here, there's huge difference there. But just overall, it's a night and day difference between the two. They're very different, aesthetically speaking. If I had to pick, I like Classics Trapjaw better, but this is, you know, this is the Trapjaw. Same with Skeletor, like I said, this is the Trapjaw I grew up with, the one from the cartoons. So while I think this is really cool, I like this one too. So, you know, I can have them both, basically. That's what it comes down to. They are wildly different, but why not both? All right, so overall, like I said, it's a cool figure. He is a good example of how simplistic this line is compared to the Classics line. And that said, even so, he's still a cool figure. I like this Trapjaw. He's among my favorites in the Filmation style line. He certainly beats out Evil Lyn for me, that's for sure. But that's not hard. And he's a good representation of the character in plastic. It's cool to have this guy as we knew him on the TV show in figure form. Comes with a few extra cool accessories that, while they weren't really needed, and I don't see a lot of people using them, not seriously anyway, they're cool to have. And I don't fault Mattel for adding that kind of stuff in. It's cool little things that keep the line fresh and just something new. So that's going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned. Thanks again, as always, for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.